Good morning. Welcome to Option Center. It's Wednesday, May 29th, 2024. So today we're just going to catch up a little bit on SPY. I want to also look at Tesla just for a minute. And I really want to put some focus on a long-term play. This can be also a shorter-term play just to start, but I think PayPal is setting up for not only a big run in the near term, but also a real long-term IRA type buy. I started purchasing shares today, and I will do so if price starts to move a little bit lower as well. Okay, so if you're new here, go down to that bottom right-hand corner, hit that Option Center logo and subscribe. We are here to teach, educate, set up some trades, do all sorts of things. So consider supporting the channel with the Patreon. It's $3 monthly. Thank you. Now let's jump into it. We have SPY on the daily time frame. We're sort of in a limbo at the moment. We're looking really to try to find to see if price is going to go straight up to our targets around 543, that 540 to 545 area, or if we're going to get a dip first to buy into it. Okay, so what would that look like on the daily time frame? Let's kind of zoom in here. I have right now, because there's another target on the weekly, we're not going to go through that. You can look at yesterday's video if you want to see that. If we go straight up and start hitting these targets here around 540 to 545 in this confluence of trend lines, then I do believe that we get a dip, and even possibly, because this is so thin, we're getting to an apex of this rising wedge. We may even fall off. This very common fall off the wedge and form a larger wedge, and I would bring it out a little bit further. Find some support. For example, the 513. This is if we get a new high, move down, and then go try to tag higher targets later in the year. Now, the scenario looks a little bit different if we go lower from this point. Now, we're underneath that 8 EMA again, so it looks like the market's getting a little bit weak. While I do see some strength underneath with some individual names, we are long Tesla, Boeing, PayPal, and some others. So I want to do all those videos. I do need the support. I do these videos for free. We have the former all-time high here that's sort of holding its general vicinity. If we do get a breakdown from here, we have a couple different scenarios that we could play out for support. Now, again, I show those in the last few videos, and I'm not going to go through those thoroughly. So if we get a breakdown, I'm looking to buy somewhere above this trend, at the trend somewhere, and fill this out a little bit later. And remember, we talked about May 31st yesterday being such a big zone. So time with price, that's a setup. So by May 31st, if we're down here on Friday, I'm looking to buy into that's a good setup. And could it continue lower? Yes, but that's where you look at setting your stop and things like that. If the price is up here by Friday, I'll be looking to sell. That's the setup we're looking for right now, just in a nutshell. All right. So for all of you that are new here, we're looking at, and don't forget to like the video. Thank you very much. We're looking at possible ending diagonal that we're doing right now. 3-wave move up for 1. These are all 3 waves, 5 total waves. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is not the only count that could happen. This is just what I think is likely. And then as we get more information, that's why we do these videos so often, then we'll change our projection as necessary. So right now I have this scenario played out on this screen. Okay. So this is just the other scenario where we hold the trend line and go higher. And that's to target, ultimately, the target we're looking for later in the year, around 560. Okay, so this would be wave 4, and we're looking for an A, B, C for wave 5. However that might play out. We're at target 1, so 530. Target 2, 545, and that goes perfectly if we do get up there into that's our zone. Again, if we go straight up from here into May 31st at the end of the month, then that's also the second target on this time frame from this point of view, from Fibonacci extensions. And then we'll be looking for a pullback and then going for the higher target. Okay, so let's move down to the 65. Again, I just want to do this real quick. And here's the traditional technical analysis from this point of view, the 65-minute. Now I know we can draw a channel, we can move the channel, but for now we're falling underneath, back test, and breaking down. Here would be some levels below, or we hold this low, we're forming a low. It looks much more bullish on the Qs, and we look for higher positions up top, which would be this confluence up here, around that 540 to 545 area into May 31st. All right. Again, I have much more thorough analysis of the market in the past few videos of how we get those extensions, how did we get those price targets, where the lows might be, all those sorts of things. So just look back. I'll pin them up top and at the end of the video. So on the Elliott wave, I have both mapped out here. Okay, so this is a possible wave 1 that ended here, or we go straight up into targets above. That's at 543 right there, into May 1st. This is the May 1st zone. Or, and this could happen. This is only 70 points away, okay, on the SPX, or 7 points away on SPY. This can happen real quick because we have a catalyst tomorrow and going into Friday. We have 2 catalysts, so that could easily, this is a one-day move, especially since we've been sideways for so long. All right, and the dip can be just as fast and a little bit more furious, but you see the 200 days starting to move up here, so that would be good support. So those are our 2 scenarios. Purple, we go straight up with the catalyst and then drop, and then we'll be looking for another buy. Turquoise, move down, buy into our next target, and then another dip, and then higher. Okay, so either way, we're looking to buy, but we don't want to buy into this zone. That's 543. Okay, when price grinds to the upside, that's when I start looking for individual names. So that's why Tesla looks good, and let's bring that up. Ultimately, Tesla has just been triangulating within this zone here. You had the initial move up, it was an impulse move, and then a correction, and I see a bunch of 3-wave moves, so it, to me, clearly looks like a triangle. Now, if this is actually an A, B, C, if we start breaking down from this triangle, we have another setup to come over time after it gets done. And I'll show you on the, so if we make a clear break of this triangle to the downside, then I think we'll go test the gap, at minimum the 160 area. Break above, and I think we're off to the races. All right, and I'm already long here. I do think the bias is up. And then we have some targets up there. Again, you can look at the Tesla video that I have that I show some targets and stuff like that. But I just wanted to do an update. We're just getting real tight in price action. And being a triangle, it could go either way. I think it's a continuation. But this, if it breaks down, I'll get out and look for the next trade. We do have some time factors. Guess what? 531 is one of them. All right, so something is going to happen going into May. That could be a breakdown or break up. And I think that will reflect a lot on what the market is doing. All right, that's just a quick update there. So nothing really has changed in Tesla. We do potentially have a retracement from this initial move. We only made it to the 50%. So that's kind of the one thing that that scares me. And that the same thing with Boeing. We have this 161 area down here where the 62% retracement, and then the 76 is down here. So that zone is still down here to be left undone. This shows a real bullish stance if we simply correct from the 50%. So just keep that in mind. If we start to break down, if Tesla starts to break down, this would be our next target, 161, that same zone that I was telling you about in the purple here. It's at 161 right here. Just happens to be at the same spot. Okay, enough with Tesla. We're already long. Let's do PayPal. We're going to go top-down analysis. And I want to give you a good look at this. Let's do the max and show you why we're starting to buy. All right, so huge move from the IPO and just a massive correction. That correction's going down to about 80%. We're still in the downtrend on the monthly time frame, but things are starting to firm up on the lower time frame. So that's why we're doing a top down. Also, and this is a great support resistance area. We had support here, support, broke down, and now is resistance. So if we get it back above this is a confirmation of this move around 71. If we show our indicators, we're getting a very rare monthly bullish divergence and crossover. That's huge. That's huge. So even if price tends to break down a little bit more, we're still going to buy shares into the dip. Okay. These type of opportunities don't come too often. Same thing with our reversal. Not quite overbought, but we're kind of in the middle, a little bit of a neutral territory. So not, if you're doing short term, you shouldn't be really looking at this so much anyway, but we're kind of in a neutral stance there. Awesome oscillator. Again, bullish divergence on the monthly time frame. That's huge. This could play out for years to the upside. All right. And literally, it could play out for, if this is a 1-2 setup, then wave 3 is going to be much larger, potentially much larger than wave 1, and could massively be a move that is a decade. Okay, so that's why we're looking into these monthly divergences like that, and then we'll scale into it as price falls. And to be honest, we'll probably, if price goes up from here, we'll probably start buying on each dip. So we have the Bollinger Bands getting tight here on the monthly. Check that out. Looks like it's going to start to break one way or the other. And then the volume profile. This is the next zone. If price starts to fall, to continue to fall, this would be a huge volume shelf, starting from about the 45 area down to even the 35 area. So this would be buy all the way down there. Okay, this is there's a lot of volume here, and there's not so much here. So what's holding up price down here? You could say the volume gap. We also have a Fibonacci at that point. So let's go ahead and show that board. Here's the Elliott wave. This is the entire move. This is a retracement from it. We're at the 887. That's about $62 mark, 61.66. And we're just kind of holding right there. And so price is retesting that point right now. So we price came down, dipped through, and it can consider this a fake break to the upside and possibly can hold price right now. We're here on the monthly time frame. Let's go down to the weekly and check things out, see where we stand from here. And we'll start to show you, I'll give you the storyline of how this might start looking. Okay, and you can wait to buy after you see this channel. We're now forming a channel. I connected these two bottoms and just brought the channel up to this top, and it just so happens to be that rejection was off of the channel top. So can we go down to the bottom of the channel? Yes, that would bring us right into that 43 area where the breakout zone was. All right, so we can, I'll just add a quick line there just so you can see it live. And that's at about that 40 zone right there. So that could be the bottom of the channel. That could be a next objective buy zone on the weekly. We're not going to wait till then. All right. We are showing positive divergence on this last move. Yes, we did have a move up, so that could be all, and again make another low. To me, it's possible that this could be done as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of thing. Like this was a initial move for an A, B, and then a C move down here, an ending diagonal. We have positive divergence on the MACD, and we're in a neutral stance here. We're already oversold on the slow stoke on the weekly time frame. I'm not going to show you, the volume's kind of the same thing as the monthly. So let's move down to the daily. In the daily time frame, we're rejecting off of this gap here. We have some gaps above. We have tons of gaps up here. I mean, I can draw them all out. But now look at this visual. We had this move, and this ending diagonal that I was talking about broke down from the falling wedge and had that fake break back above, rejected off of the top, and is now firming up above this wedge. Okay, and also the 200-day moving average. This 200-day moving average acted as resistance way up here, got underneath, things got real negative. Resistance. Yes, it did fake break. Resistance, resistance, resistance. And now we're floating above as support. Okay, so that's why I think right now is a great spot to start buying. If we get back underneath, that's a long time of fake break there. I think we're firming up here. We're forming an inverse head and shoulder. We have an inverse head and shoulder set up. We're looking at, I think, about 67.50. That would be a great zone. So our quick line here. So I don't waste your time. You have a lot of support resistance. This is going to be a great area. Support, support, resistance, 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 resistance. We get above 68. And I think the next moves will start moving a lot faster. So this, to me, looks like a 1-2, 1-2 setup at this point. Anything else I want to show you? I think that we have our positive divergence on the daily. Again, we're just really showing consolidation around the 0 line. Awesome oscillator, positive divergence. I don't know if I did the D mark yet, but And we had some buy signals down low, sell signal. We got our retracement, possible ABC here, or just stayed ABC from the top there. The volume profile was pretty interesting. We have a lot of volume, and we're at that point of control right now. So this can be the volume shelf right near this 200A. We have a little bit of room. You see there's a little space in between up and down, but we're right in the center of that volume. So this, again, that's the volume shelf. This could act as a launch pad, as some traders say. All right, so I'm not going to go down to 65. That's not really necessary for this long-term play. Just want to show you all those things I look at. This is for our IRA. This is our growth account. We have two separate accounts, our growth and our dividend account. I do set those, the trade alerts for those accounts on the Patreon for the higher members. Right now I'm doing it for all of them, but yeah, it's $3 a month if you want to just be a supporter, and then eventually the trade alerts will be on the $10. So that's what I got for you. Thanks for joining us here. Hope all this helps. Hope this can help you set up your charts and educate you. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and have a wonderful day. We will maybe talk about Boeing or so. We're looking for some more supporters, so I'll do a lot more individual stocks as we gain more support. Thanks for joining us here at Option Center. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.